The Pittsburgh Steelers fan base better get ready because major changes are coming. The future of the team's offense might be heading in an unexpected direction, and a surprising name is already being considered for a key role. On top of that, a move in the market could bring a star veteran to the team's most important position, and this decision could impact much more than just the offense. What are the Steelers planning? Stick around until the end so you don't miss any details, and don't forget to leave a like to support the channel. The Pittsburgh Steelers might be on the verge of making their first major backfield change in 4 years. Najee Harris is set to become a free agent, and there's a good chance he won't return next season. And to be honest, that might not be such a bad thing. Harris has been healthy and reliable, but he's never quite been that game-changing player. With that in mind, spending a fortune to re-sign him doesn't seem like the smartest move. The ideal approach for Pittsburgh would be to sign a cheaper veteran running back in free agency as a temporary solution for 2025. Then, the real long-term plan would come into play in next year's NFL draft. And according to the latest projection from Vinny Iyer of the Sporting News, the Steelers might follow exactly that path. In his 2-round mock draft, Iyer predicts the team will select Caleb Johnson, a 6'0", 225-pound running back from Iowa. Regarding this potential pick, Iyer wrote, "The Steelers like Johnson's running style and should start believing he's good enough in the passing game to play all 3 downs and replace free agent Najee Harris." Johnson saved his best college performance for his final year, finishing the 2024 season with an impressive 1,537 rushing yards, 188 receiving yards, and 23 total touchdowns. He stands out in a draft class packed with running back talent. And considering what head coach Mike Tomlin and offensive coordinator Arthur Smith typically look for in the position, Johnson seems to fit the Steelers' mold perfectly. He thrives in zone running schemes, runs with intensity, is solid in pass protection, and has the size to be a true 3-down back. Still, there are some concerns. Johnson didn't have many receiving opportunities at Iowa, though he has the potential to develop that aspect of his game. Additionally, he's not the kind of explosive runner who can turn any play into a long touchdown, something Pittsburgh's offense has been lacking for years. Even so, the Steelers have a well-defined running back prototype, and Johnson fits that mold. If the team truly decides to move on from Harris, it wouldn't be surprising to see them take a shot on the Iowa standout on day 2 of the draft. What do you think about this potential change? Are the Steelers making the right decision, or will they regret it? Drop your opinion in the comments. Now, if you thought this first update was surprising, the next one could completely change the franchise's direction. And there's a detail in this story that no one saw coming. The Pittsburgh Steelers are deep in quarterback discussions, and GM Omar Khan made it clear. Figuring out their 2025 starter is priority number 1. Speaking at the NFL Scouting Combine, Khan emphasized that the team's QB decision will also shape how they approach adding wide receivers. Like team president Art Rooney II, he'd love to see Russell Wilson or Justin Fields return, but with both set to hit free agency, nothing is guaranteed. That's why Pittsburgh is keeping all options open, including a potential move for Matthew Stafford. The Los Angeles Rams recently gave Stafford and his agent permission to explore trade possibilities, and at 37, he's looking for one last big payday. His contract situation is tricky, though. Last offseason, the Rams shifted $5 million of his 2025 salary into 2024 to keep him happy, leaving him with a $27 million cap hit for this season, an amount he reportedly isn't thrilled about. If LA trades him, they'll eat a massive $50 million dead cap hit. Jerry Dulac of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette sees Stafford as a more realistic option than, say, Sam Darnold, but he doesn't believe the price tag will be nearly as high as some fear. When asked about the idea of paying Stafford $50 million, Dulac shut it down quickly. Nope, not at that price. And what makes you think it will be at that price? Lucky if it even gets to $40. Adding to the drama, rumors suggest Stafford's relationship with the Rams has soured over the past year, partly due to his contract demands. His wife reportedly didn't help matters, making a direct appeal to Rams ownership for a top-tier payday, and even stirring controversy on her podcast by criticizing the team's locker room culture. Despite all this, Stafford remains a proven winner. He led the Rams to the divisional round last season and, of course, helped them win a Super Bowl 2 years prior. However, not everyone believes he deserves a contract in the same stratosphere as Dak Prescott, who's eyeing $60 million a year. Some insiders think Stafford could push into the $50 million range, but that's likely far beyond what the Steelers would be willing to offer. Now, here's where things get interesting. If Pittsburgh somehow lands Stafford, they might get a bonus: Cooper Kupp. The Steelers badly need a top-tier wide receiver, and Kupp, one of Stafford's favorite targets, could be intrigued by the idea of reuniting with his QB in a new setting. Pittsburgh reportedly had interest in Kupp last year, but nothing materialized. The Rams are clearly transitioning to a younger roster, and Kupp himself has acknowledged that a trade might be in the works. At 32, he's dealt with injuries. He's only played 2 full seasons in 8 years. But when healthy, he's been a 1,000-yard machine. That said, the Steelers can't afford another part-time weapon. They're already dealing with George Pickens, whose inconsistency isn't injury-related but rather effort-based. He's been known to take plays off and avoid blocking. If they go after Kupp, they need to be sure he'll be a reliable every-week contributor. For now, the Steelers' QB situation remains wide open, and Stafford's availability adds another intriguing wrinkle. If the price is right, could Pittsburgh make a move? And if they do, could Kupp follow? This offseason is shaping up to be a wild one in the Steel City. If the Steelers actually pull off this move, it could change everything for next season. But is this the right choice? Or are we looking at another risky gamble? The franchise needs solid answers, and every decision now could shape the team's future. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any Steelers updates.